With civilians, the civilian talk. If you listen to that bullshit, that ain't even smart. Have you spewing out fake news? Get you ripped apart. This is Mr. P.I. and the civilian talk. Hey.
Q stands for question, excuse me. God love you. Questioning your mom. Look, hey, come on. Take you out behind the schoolyard and get you pregnant.
Yo, it's your boy, Mr. P.I. coming straight at you. Bringing you that civilian talk. Please wake up America news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. You feel me? I mean, it's so much to say, so little time. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those nights, folks, where we got a ton of information. I meant to do a show on Thursday. I actually boofed it. This was really my fault. You already should know. Today, we have a ton of shit. Stock market collapse worldwide. Globalists imploding economist warns of the Great Reset. We actually have breaking news. UN spokesperson calls for NATO and UN troops to occupy Western nations to enforce lockdowns for the next wave of lockdowns and shit. Yeah, because they coming back, folks. I already know. I told you already. Yep. I mean, Jamie Raskins lies America into a civil war and shit. We're going to listen to that shit. It's going to be early on in the show and shit. We got some brainwashed libs getting on TV and shit. You know, when is there not brainwashed libtards on TV? I mean, it's crazy. Savage, Trump plays compilation of Kamala's been cackling. Fucking up big time. You know, we also have Joe Biden activating wartime powers. I mean, didn't we tell you a martial law style dictatorship was going to show up, and he's not even the one doing it. It's crazy shit. Video of VP pick. Tim Walz calls for a ban to free speech. Yep. Told you. They radical, folks. 2019 video. Veteran confronts Tim Walz staff over stolen valor. That means he was running around talking about he was a soldier in a war that he never fucking participated in, and he came out there frauding like a motherfucker. Yep. Just like a Democrat. Their most deranged idea yet. And then we're going to have some of that what's going on in the UK with that civil war that's about to spark over there and shit. I think that's very important to note. And people should really be, you know, trying to look in to see what the fuck is going on with this shit, because it's about to get crazy out there, folks. So I hope y'all motherfuckers is preparing. I hope y'all getting ready. I hope y'all ready, set, and we about to get going. So you already should know. Don't move your motherfucking switch, because the party is just getting started. You already should know. And as usual, who loves you? Who loves you? I do. And who is it? It's your boy. Yo, it's your boy, Mr. P. I want to tell y'all, man, we got the podcast player over there at CivilianTalkPodcast.com now, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is hit the check out the podcast button. It's a nice big old player over there, you know what I'm saying? You can check out as many episodes as you want, and we going to be over there waiting for y'all, you know what I'm saying? We done streamlined it, so you don't have to go to your favorite podcast outlet no more. You don't have to sign in to Spotify or iHeartRadio or iTunes. You can just go over to CivilianTalkPodcast.com, and if it's not another link, you can just press the episode you want and press play, and you already know. It's your boy. And we back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bobbity and shit. We the motherfucking bike. Like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, folks? I hope y'all good out there. Shout out to everybody checking us out. Yeah, man. Appreciate your listening space. Appreciate your ear space. Appreciate your subscription over there on Spotify. You know, you're helping us out with the algorithm actually and shit. And the more y'all subscribe over there and shit, the more listeners will increase everywhere. You already know, because they'll begin to release us from the algorithm. I can't wait to be released from the algorithm. Yeah, I'm saying. Now, we got a lot of news going on today and shit. I mean, like, some really big shit. We got the UN spokesperson calling for national lockdowns. We got the worldwide stocks collapsing and shit. You got Jamie Raskins manufacturing a civil war by falsifying the 14th Amendment and shit, you know what I mean, to disqualify Trump from office and shit, falsely claiming that Trump incited an insurrection when the Supreme Court already motherfucking said that shit is bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? Is it 2016 again? It might be 2016 again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real, it's crazy, bro. I mean, you would think that some of y'all grew some brain cells by now and wasn't just falling for the bullshit. I hope y'all got your weed ready, y'all lighter handy. Because you know I got mine. So you know I got mine. But the brainwash liberals and libtards and tart libs and all the, you know, the extraterrestrials out there. You know what I'm saying? They run around here with their head chopped off and they don't know what the fuck they talking about, per usual. The sad part is we're sitting here trying to defend ourselves from idiots that are calling us bad names and shit, and they think that is actually hurting us and shit. That's the hilarious part and shit. Like, how the fuck you think calling me a white supremacist sympathizer is gonna hurt my feelings and shit? See, but they don't get it. You know what I mean? Because to them, that would hurt their feelings. So to us, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is you? That shit don't even make sense. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But you know they the type of people that you tell to get the fuck out of here, though, and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, regular. I mean, it's crazy, folks. We live in an upside-down world. Nothing is right side up anymore and shit. You know what I'm saying? Our ceiling fans are now on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, our entertainment centers are now on the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Our fireplaces are now in the fucking window. You know what I'm saying? The windows is where the doors used to be. You know, so you stuck in there and shit. And the doors is where the roof used to be and shit. So you got get out through the roof now and shit. It's just, you mean, and it's like how, folks? Like, how is we really like arguing with kindergartners and shit? It's like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Yes. You know what I mean, are you smarter than a libtard? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because they dumber than fifth graders and shit. And, you know, they pull out all the hard fifth grade questions and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit, when I was in fifth grade, they ain't asked me that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't fucking ask me that. You know what I'm saying? Is there such thing as a white supremacist sympathizer? I'm like, damn, is it? Did I read that in my history book? A white supremacist sympathizer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we done got to the point of delusion so bad that niggas is now being called white supremacists. Like African Americans are being called white supremacists, my nigga. I'm like, how? He's not remotely white. I mean, nigga. You mean, have you ever seen the color white? This nigga must be colorblind. He must be seeing all different shades of gray. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, what? How am I a fucking white supremacist? Because I'm motherfucking saying that this white guy is smarter than that white guy. Make that shit make sense, folks. They telling you if you vote for this white guy, you a white supremacist. But if you vote for that white guy, you ain't no white supremacist. And the crazy part is that white guy, Joe's been hiding, was a white supremacist. You know what I'm saying? Is a white supremacist. The nigga best friend was the head of the second in command for the KKK. Y'all calling the orange one a white supremacist? Make that shit make sense. How is your best friend the number 2 in the KKK, but the other one is the white supremacist? Lord Jesus. But it take a certain special kind of stupid to fall for shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that y'all stupid, folks. Understand that this is for educational purposes. But it do. It take a special it take a special breed of retard to keep falling for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just as accepting as the next person and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not in the LGBT, because the LGBT is not accepting of anything. You know what I'm saying? They don't accept shit. If you're not accepting what they accepting, they call you names. So where is the acceptance? You know what I'm saying? Zero acceptance from the people that want acceptance. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm on your side, then you know what I'm saying, oh, he's accepted. But if I rebuttal your side and shit, oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, you darky, you darky, you. I fucking hate you, darkies. Ooh, you darky, you killed my brother. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro. Folks, I need y'all to wake up. I need y'all to wake up and understand that these people are playing with you, man. This shit is a game to them, bro. This shit is dollar signs. Each one of y'all that get mad and go woke and be on some dumbass shit is a dollar sign for the fucking globalists, bro. Y'all niggas is legit dollar signs. And look where your dollars is going. Illegal immigration and shit. You know what I'm saying? Instant fail. Yes, Lord. It's crazy. It's just preposterousness in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? And yet you got motherfuckers out here like me that's trying to talk sense into motherfuckers like you, and you don't want to fucking hear it. You like, nigga, did you say something? Like, I got a libtard coming on later and shit. She don't even know she talking to a Trump supporter, but yet she's saying she ain't got no time to talk to Trump supporters. It's like, damn, how fucking dumb do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's a level to idiocracy, but goodness gracious. Come on, Lord. You just can't be just proving us right like that. That's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, though. I'm all over the place with the shit. I mean, the fact that we even gotta fucking have this discussion and shit is, like, insane in itself. You know what I mean? It really is. The fact that we fighting each other when it's the niggas with the most money on the planet that's basically using us against each other for their game. If we stop fighting each other and we took it to the fucking globalists, all this shit'll be over. You know what I mean? It hitting you with this distraction after distraction after distraction. Meanwhile, they rolling out shit at the same time. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all don't know this. A lot of y'all aren't aware of this. A lot of y'all are kind of like brainwashed, for lack of a motherfucking better term. Because it's happening right in front of your face, but yet you refuse to look at it, you refuse to believe it, you refuse to acknowledge it, which is insane. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? Now, I sit back and I do a podcast and I attempt to wake people up out there, you know, drunken stupor on many occasions on, you know, various weeks of the year and shit, you know what I'm saying? And consistently, you know what I'm saying, over the past 5+ years and shit. You know, and my only goal has been to make people realize that, you know, it's they out to get you. Like, not only out to get you, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill your kids by transgendering them and shit, chopping out their genitals. Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all out here fucking virtue signaling and shit, talking about, oh, let's chop off more genitals. And it's like, When are y'all gonna say enough is enough to fat, ugly dudes having sex with each other and shit in the middle of the street in front of your kids and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, though. You know what I'm saying? I look at society and I just be fucking disgusted as shit. I just be like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? And it might not necessarily be anything wrong with you individually and shit, but it is something wrong with society. You know, and if the shoe don't fit, don't wear that motherfucker. But you know, most of y'all take offense and shit the shit I say, and y'all wear the shoe anyway. I don't give a fuck. Put the shoe on if you got to. You know what I mean? It's completely up to you. It's your world. I'm just living in it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, we're about to see purge-style behaviors all over the planet. Right now in fucking the UK, you got the citizens of the UK fighting the immigrants of the UK. You mean? Is that just so happening? No. Is that by design? Yes. I mean, and if y'all not getting prepared for that shit, y'all gonna get caught up in the wash, my nigga. When that shit started, just like in New York, when the Palestinians and the Jews was clashing in the middle of the street and shit, you know what I'm saying, for fucking, you know, for clicks. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the same thing. Except it's gonna be all the motherfuckers that came for your shit against you. You know what I mean? These niggas got welfare cards with unlimited money on them Jones. They got fucking cash assistance. Nigga, how many Americans get cash assistance, bro? They always saying it ain't no money for cash assistance, but yet you got fucking immigrants getting $2,000 a month in cash assistance. Like, how the fuck is that possible? When me, Mr. American, I signed up for fucking unemployment, they're like, yeah, $134. You got motherfucking immigrants getting more money on motherfucking welfare than I'm getting on motherfucking unemployment. And I'm not even getting unemployment. I'm just using that as an example. Like, that's crazy. That's insane, folks. You know, y'all see why I be like, get your weed ready, your lighter handy, because when you sit back and think about this shit, it's insane. It's like, how? How did this happen? Who watch did it happen on? Oh, the Democrats. Oh, don't you be talking bad about the Democrats, you motherfucking white supremacist sympathizer. So that's what's wrong with you. Y'all always blaming the socialist communists for what the socialist communists is doing, but don't be blaming us for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's really upside down world. You know what I mean? And I'm one of the few people that's trying to talk some sense into y'all. A lot of people already gave up. Fuck it. They just dead meat. I'm like, no. Don't just leave them for dead, yo. We good. Let's get them back on track. No, they taking COVID shots. They doing this. They doing that. They giving their kids to fucking Satanists and shit. They fucking encouraging Satanism for the rest of the fucking kids and shit and all this culture. And it's crazy. They're about to roll out COVID 6.9. You know what I'm saying? They getting it ready for the school year. So you know they're going to try to have mass vaccination drives and shit on your kids and shit. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a wild time. It's really going to be wild. I sit back and look at the trajectory of where shit going, and we in bad shape, folks. We really are. And it's like, bruh, if you can't tell, then you ain't fucking looking. I mean, it's as simple as that. You know what I mean? And if you're not looking, then you don't want to fucking know. And if you don't want to fucking know, when the shit come and pull you from under the bed, I don't want to hear shit. You know what I mean? Don't call my phone. Don't try to find my frequency. None of that shit, because you already chose your fate. You know what I'm saying? You already chose it. So what the fuck? What you want me to do? You said fuck it. You gonna check out. You mean? And that's what you did. Check out. You know, out to lunch. You mean? I hope that works out for you. You know, personally, I think it's a huge mistake, a huge miscalculation. If you don't have, material that can repel stuff from hitting you and killing you, if you're smart, you should be able to dissect that. But if you don't have stuff that can repel stuff that could be projected at you and kill you, then you did me any motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, somebody calls it the barbecue. You know what I mean? It's Bruh's barbecue. And you gonna be on the grill. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen The Walking Dead? They had a whole community that was eating people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you think you ain't gonna be Bruh's barbecue for somebody? Nigga, you crazy as hell, nigga. You don't play DayZ, nigga. Niggas be on there chopping up niggas' bodies and eating this shit to keep their character alive. So you know what they gonna do in real life. And you know what happened when we catch those people doing that shit? We normally shoot them and kill them and shit because they not to be fucking trusted. You can't sleep around no nigga that'll eat a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck did sleepovers at Hannibal house? Nobody did sleepovers at Hannibal's house. Okay? Who the fuck went over Jeffrey Dahmer's house knowing that he ate motherfuckers? Nobody. Not a single motherfucker went over there and was like, yeah, you know what? I don't mind trying some Negro ass chicks tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that sounds like a delicacy. I don't know what the deal is. It could be a delicacy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's fucking preposterous to think that y'all gonna be amongst these niggas and y'all just gonna be living in fucking harmony and shit. Now, I can tell you the first motherfuckers that's gonna be doing that shit, that's gonna be the lefty losers, the motherfuckers that didn't prepare for shit. They thought FEMA was gonna come save them and shit, and then FEMA said you gotta take this injection in order to get in our facility. And then you wonder why then you never seen nobody come out the facility because the injection kills motherfuckers. Duh. We got all these movies coming out. The Forever Purge, where niggas was running into Mexico. Why is niggas running into Mexico? Because the gazillion motherfuckers done ran into America and shit. That's why. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Civil War. You know what I mean? Civil War. You know what I mean? All crazy. Everybody, the immigrants killing everybody. Everybody killing everybody, and the immigrants killing everybody. It's just, goodness gracious, they bringing in the blue hats. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to boil down to who's standing for what, where they standing for, when the whole 9 yards. You feel me? And unfortunately for a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? We kind of at the mercy of, each other at this point because they done stripped us of so much shit already. They taking your guns, they creating fucking registries so they can come show up at your address and shit and come take your shit. You know what I'm saying? They fucking making, fucking manifestos for niggas after they suicide them and shit. They already got your letter pre-wrote out. Yep. Yeah, already got your shit wrote out. Yep, he suicided himself. He decided he wasn't going to comply and suicided himself. I don't know why he would do something crazy like that. We was only coming to see what was going on over here. Like for real. Red flag laws where motherfuckers can just say they scared of you and shit and the cops come kicking your fucking door. Taking your 404. You like, hold on, boss. That's mine and shit. No, it ain't. It's property of the U.S. government, my friend. You know what I'm saying? If you got an issue with it, we can take you too. You want to go too? No. Guess I'll just wait to see you guys in court. Wait to see you guys later. I don't want to go with you now. I don't think that's smart. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, I'm just being for real. It's crazy out here. Shit is going down. Motherfuckers is goofy. People are attempting to do shit that they have no business doing. They fucking with your kids. They fucking with your wife. They fucking with your life. You know what I'm saying? They fucking with your food. They fucking with your supply chain. They fucking with your gas. They fucking with your livelihood. They fucking with your safety. You know what I'm saying? And y'all niggas is worried about sexy red. I mean, the fuck? You mean? Like, my coochie pink and my booty holes brown. That's what y'all worried about. Father God, come on, man. We could do better than this. We really can. I'm burnt out. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be like, "P, man, I thought you was going to do a show on this day." I'm really burnt the fuck out, man. I'm lucky I'm still, like, doing Sunday show on some shit. I'm cooked. 6 years of this shit. This shit is frying. You know what I'm saying? On some shit. I see why Alex just be like, "Man, fuck it." You know what I'm saying? I see why Uncle Alex just say fuck it, man, like on some real shit, because it's like, it's very, 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 very stressful to have all this shit in your head. And if you got first-hand knowledge and you the first to find out and then you got to report it to everybody else, that shit, it's even more fucking stressful. I'm getting, secondhand shit from outlets, and the shit drive me the fuck crazy. So I couldn't even imagine if I had sources that was telling me this shit all the time and shit on secure lines and shit, I'd be fucking losing it. That's a fact. That's 100. That's the real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you know what I mean? But, you know what? We got such a long show tonight that I'm actually going to cut the music here and we're going to get started and shit. So, we got a circle back moment at the very beginning of the show. Wow, that's crazy. So y'all know how we gonna do this and shit. We gonna get it popping straight from the gate.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I often note I'm going to circle back. I hate to disappoint conservative Twitter, but I am going to circle back on a number of things, as we often do directly. I'll circle back, circle back. I hate to disappoint you. Circle back, circle back. That's an excellent question. Circle back, circle back. I hate to disappoint you, but we will venture to circle back with all of you.
Taking cocaine or not? What do you think?
This is such a good question. I have not had the opportunity to dig into that. I'll circle back.
It was a massive dump. To this day, everyone's trying to figure out where did it come from.
I'm not aware of anything, but we'll circle back.
This uncircumcised Philistine, who does he think he is?
As a mom myself, I want to know all the details. I have to circle back.
Come on, man. You know what I mean?
I will venture to get you an answer on that, and maybe we can talk about it, and you'll circle back. I will have to circle back on that one. Circle back. But we'll circle back. Circle back. But I will have to circle back with you. Circle back. Let me give you a very specific example. I'll circle back. Circle back. I hate to disappoint you. Circle back. That's an excellent question. Circle back. I hate to disappoint you, but we will venture to circle back.
This president knew back in January. Why didn't he tell us? Why did he warn us?
There are a number of ways to combat misinformation. One of them is circle back.
You told us that Trump was invincible and Hillary was in the prison, right?
I don't really have any predictions for you on that. I can circle back. Let me see if I can get more detail for you on that. Circle back.
I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison. Did you?
We'll try to get to as many questions as possible. I'll circle back. I don't have anything more for you. We'll circle back. And that communication has been lacking. Circle back. Well, as you know, we'll circle back. Let me give you a very specific example. I'll circle back. I hate to disappoint you. Circle back. That's an excellent question. Circle back. I hate to disappoint you, but we will venture to circle back with all of you.
One of the things that we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
You gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the worst day of your life.
So even though COVID poses zero threat to healthy children,
vaccinate your children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm strongly recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
A few moments later,
we're seeing that 2 doses is not holding up well for emergency room visits. It's not holding up well for hospitalizations.
Here we go again.
Everyone's going to need a booster. You need that 3rd immunization.
Triple the amount.
Get that 3rd immunization. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. This is a 3-dose vaccine.
But I'm not done yet.
That 3rd immunization, the problem is it's not holding up. So we may have to look at sort of innovative solutions.
Oh God, not this again.
A 4th immunization, just to keep them going, to keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box things. A 4th immunization. A 4th immunization. Get that 2nd boost. A 2nd boost to keep the country going. I've made that recommendation. A 4th immunization.
But I'm still not done.
1 semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their booster, and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the 3rd shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the 4th booster, or does it matter?
Don't worry so much about the number of...
There's no wrong way to use it.
You have to get it. This new bivalent booster...
You can double or triple stack them.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12 and older need a booster?
The answer is yes. Yes. And by the way, if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters and more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a 3rd booster as well, a 5th immunization.
5.
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Eventually.
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well as we'd like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every, few months, we may need another booster.
Isn't it funny that Dr. Peter Hotez is the same person as the UN spokesperson now? And shit, breaking video. UN spokesperson calls for NATO UN troops to occupy Western nations to enforce lockdowns, force injections. It's from InfoWars and shit. Let's check it out.
I met with Dr. Tedros last month in Geneva, WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies, NATO. This is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic exercise. 200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression.
While other networks lie to you.
Hold on, run it back.
Last month in Geneva, WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies, NATO. This is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic.
Now, mind you, the unvaccinated are chilling like a motherfucker. Remember, we were supposed to be dead as soon as it happened. You know what I'm saying? 5 years later, we laughing at everybody that took injections and shit. You know what I mean? Because we knew it would be an epic fail, but, you know what I'm saying? And now this motherfucker running around talking about they need NATO. And I told y'all they going to try to roll out and use the motherfucking military to force inject your ass. This is when the fucking war is coming, bro. So if you ain't got one of those things that can stop things, that could kill you, that's being projected in your direction and shit, that you put over your chest and your back. And sometimes they got waist protection as well, and neck protection, and they got head protection, and they got motherfucking calf, ankle protection, and they got thigh protection. It really depends on how much money you got, you know what I'm saying?
I met with Dr. Tedros last month in Geneva, WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies. NATO, this is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic exercise. 200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression.
Now, think about that. We lose 200,000 Americans every year due to flu and regular cold. So now, being an anti-vaxxer, you got to be under military control.
Joke Peter Hotez, basically the Robin to Batman, Fauci's Batman, he's Robin that runs around and says, all the shots work, 100%, they're so good for you, we should make everybody take them. Well, now because people aren't taking them, he's upset. And here's the New Zealand pandemic plan that openly says forced injections, lock everybody up. I did a report on it yesterday on X. It's on Infowars.com. You can read the subsections of it. This is what they want for the whole world. This is what they're planning. It's what the U.S. government's planning. Hell, the White House helped write this. And so that's where we are right now. Breaking. WEF openly announces plan for quarantines and forced injections. And then this video that Hotez removed off his YouTube channel 2 days ago has been reposted to X because, we weren't supposed to be watching him when he's in a UN meeting.
Yep.
And he's saying, I told Biden we need to use NATO and the UN and the military. And you say, well, that's just Hotez. I have Dr. Ryan in my report that I filed yesterday, the head of the UN Global Crisis Response, saying
the same thing.
We need totalitarian powers to lock people up and do whatever we want.
Facts.
And they're gearing up the bird flu, and they've got their new mRNA shot ready. It's all happening right now.
Facts.
So they're going to try to use financial collapse, cyber attacks, terror attacks, wars, economic crises, assassination of Trump 2.0. It's all on the table. The global bubble is coming to an end. Their system's coming to an end. They need to get their world government, cashless society in place. They want to use Orthodox Islam that they brought in as the pretext to create civil war and lock us all down. They tried Black Lives Matter, but black folks aren't buying it. So they're going with the four horsemen of the Islamicists.
Wow.
Now, the full video, I think we didn't post it. We're going to post it to X right now. Have Jamie do that, the full 3-minute clip. We'll play just part of it. Here is Peter Hotez talking with the different UN operatives about their plan for everybody. Here it is.
Because this is now first and foremost a political problem. And what I've said to the Biden administration is the health sector can't solve this on its own. We're going to have to bring in Homeland Security, the Commerce Department, Justice Department to help us understand how to do this. And I've said the same I met with Dr. Tedros last month in Geneva at WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies. NATO, this is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic exercise. 200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression. And so this is now a lethal force and now I feel as a pediatric vaccine scientist, it's just as though it's important, just as it's important for me to make new vaccines to save lives, the other side of saving lives is countering this anti-vaccine aggression.
Counter the anti-vaccine aggression, saying we own our bodies and your shots don't work and kill people, with NATO and the UN. I mean, can this get any more naked?
No. It's like,
can this get any more out in the open?
No, it's definitely
there's the InfoWars MD line.
Definitely blatant as shit. The world imploding into globalist orchestrated crisis.
By the time the public figures out how much trouble they're in with the jobless numbers pouring out and the inflation spiraling out of control, what is the public going to do when they finally figure all this out? Well, England's a few years ahead of us. So Scotland, so's Ireland. They're rioting. They're tired of being raped and murdered and killed.
Definitely.
10, 20 to 1 Islamic crime compared to anybody. Because the Muslims know And then all the average woman has like 8 kids. Their sons all get on welfare. And they just walk around all arrogant with a bunch of subservient Brits, not knowing that the British have a long fuse. But once you burn it down, it's a big explosion. And the globalists think they're going to get all this power and control out of stirring this up. And people that are out there rioting or walking into a trap. And, I don't agree with what they're doing. But the point is, this is where we are. This is the angrier world that Klaus Schwab has set up.
That he was talking about.
For everybody.
Yep.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next.
And CivilianTalkPodcast.com. Don't you forget it. Yeah. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this world we're born. Into this world we're thrown.
Like a dog without a bone and actor out alone.
So the UK is in an anti-Christian civil war. Everywhere the Muslims move, in every case, they act real friendly until their numbers get to 10, 20%, then they attack. Then they drive you out of the towns and cities, they take full control of them, and then they keep expanding until your country falls to them, whether you're Constantinople 600 years ago, or whether you are, Spain 1,000 years ago, and it took the Spanish 500, 600 years to kick the Muslims out. And so if you look at a map of the world where Islam's in control, they don't let you have your own religion. They don't let you have any freedom. They totally control you except in a few little pockets. So that's where the UK is right now. And Tommy Robinson is coming up at the bottom of the hour. Then we've got Iran, after the leader of Hamas was killed, saying they're getting ready to attack Israel imminently and all these aircraft carriers and U.S. ships over there. Well, if you're going to go blow the Muslims up, which I don't think they should do, let them live in their own countries in peace, just don't let them come here and take everything over. You might not want to bring millions of them into your country.
Facts.
At the same time. So we've got all that. U.S. and Israel bracing for imminent Iran attack report. UK joins U.S. in deploying military forces to Middle East after Israeli escalation. Elon Musk speculates civil war inevitable as violence sweeps UK. Israel assassination spree has united Hezbollah's hands for broader and deeper strikes on Iran. That's just some of the news that we've got on those fronts. Then we've got our wide open borders and Kamala Harris refusing to debate. And the media spinning it that Trump's scared because he wants her on Fox. It goes on and on. But then we've got this clip. We're going to play it. And that's Peter Hotez, the official globalist spokesperson with Fauci, in a UN online meeting saying we want to use UN troops in NATO to make people take the shots and have lockdowns.
That's what he said.
And the same thing is being said in the UK. I have the articles right here. They are saying we are going to lock everything down like we did in COVID to stop the violence when they brought in a totally incompatible group of people with 80% of these Muslim invaders on welfare and not even having jobs and running around their nightgowns all day, pissed off saying we want Sharia law. Well, then why the hell did you come to a Western country?
Very good question.
And Elon Musk is dead on. This will create inevitable civil war. The only question is, has it
already started?
Officially started. So there's a lot of things the globalists are going to use for full control.
And they already put out most of the money for it.
But coming up, Homeland Security says, oh, people are going to hit the elections. But don't worry, the elections will work, but it's going to shut down the voter ID systems that 32 states have. And so you won't be able to prove if somebody's a citizen or not when they vote. That's the perfect thing you do.
How convenient.
These states have put in these controls.
Oh, how convenient.
And then we've got the UN World Treaty on the environment and on the response to COVID, their pandemic treaty, and they're unable to ram it through. So instead, they just have countries implement it. And I read what New Zealand is putting in. You say, well, that's New Zealand. No, this affects us all. And it's literally arresting anybody that criticizes lockdowns, forced injections, quarantine centers that are the smokescreen for locking people up and re-education. And Maduro,
we knew that was coming.
In
Thanks,
Venezuela
Hitler.
is saying he's going to lock up all of his opposition in the prisons and, quote, re-educate them.
How convenient.
So we're at the end of a giant global financial bubble. 50+% of Apple stock just got dumped Friday, almost no news coverage. The top stock in the world, half of it just got dumped by the main owner. Half of Warren Buffett's stock. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And it's just a tiny little blip on the radar screen.
Nobody talking
We are in the
about it.
time of incredible change. Lenin was an evil person, but he was smart. And he famously said, there are decades when nothing happens and weeks where decades happen.
Oh, that's a good saying.
And that's where we are right now. That's what I keep telling you. With 92 days left of the election, and then the 79 days after that till Trump's inaugurated. What's that, 180 days? We'll put it on screen.
That's a
We
long
have
time.
countdowns for how long's the election and how long the inauguration. I keep telling everybody, my spider sense is it's 92 days of the election, 7 hours, 47 minutes, 54 seconds. And how many days to the inauguration? 168. Wow, time's flying. So what I'm telling you is we're in the most important point of change in modern history, probably in human history on this planet. We don't know.
Facts.
But definitely in the last few hundred years. It's so dangerous. It's so insane. And I see people going about their business, going to play tennis and golf and going to the movies and going to dinner. Hey, great. Enjoy yourselves. But the Titanic is about to tip over and break in two and sink. And by the time the public figures out how much trouble they're in with the jobless numbers pouring out and the inflation spiraling out of control, what is the public going to do when they finally figure all this out? Well, England's a few years ahead of us. So Scotland, so's Ireland. They're rioting. They're tired of being raped and murdered and killed. 10, 20 to 1 Islamic crime compared to anybody. Because the Muslims know. And then all the average woman has like 8 kids. Their sons all get on welfare. And they just walk around all arrogant with a bunch of subservient Brits, not knowing that the British have a long fuse. But once you burn it down, it's a big explosion. And the globalists think they're going to get all this power and control out of stirring this up. And people that are out there rioting or walking into a trap. And, I don't agree with what they're doing. But the point is, this is where we are. This is the angrier world that Klaus Schwab has set up
in the Great Reset
for everybody.
I got the book.
So, here is a UN meeting with a discredited joke, Peter Hotez, basically the
puppet.
Robin to Batman, Fauci's Batman, he's Robin that runs around and says, all the shots work, 100%, they're so good for you, we should make everybody take them. Well, now because people aren't taking them, he's upset. And here's the New Zealand pandemic plan that openly says forced injections, lock everybody up. I did a report on it yesterday on X. It's on Infowars.com. You can read the subsections of it. This is what they want for the whole world. This is what they're planning. It's what the U.S. government's planning. Hell, the White House helped write this. And so that's where we are right now. Breaking. WEF openly announces plan for quarantines and forced injections. And then this video that Hotez removed off his YouTube channel 2 days ago has been reposted to X because, we weren't supposed to be watching him when he's in a UN meeting. And he's saying, I told Biden we need to use NATO and the UN and the military. And you say, well, that's just Hotez. I have Dr. Ryan in my report that I filed yesterday, the head of the UN Global Crisis Response, saying,
what, fat white boy.
We need totalitarian powers to lock people up and do whatever we want. And they're gearing up the bird flu, and they've got their new mRNA shot ready. It's all happening right now. So they're going to try to use financial collapse, cyber attacks, terror attacks, wars, economic crises, assassination of Trump 2.0. It's all on the table. The global bubble is coming to an end. Their system's coming to an end. They need to get their world government, cashless society in place. They want to use Orthodox Islam that they brought in as the pretext to create civil war and lock us all down. They tried Black Lives Matter, but black folks aren't buying it. So they're going with the four horsemen of the Islamicists.
And that's what we getting and shit. And in the meantime, early last week, stock market took a major fucking hit. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to briefly skim over this and shit because it's last week's news. Stock market collapsing worldwide, globalists imploding economic next phase of the Great Reset. The stock markets across the globe opened this week suffering massive losses, with Japan, Taiwan being hit the hardest. Japan's Nikkei stock average closed at down 12%, the largest single-day percent drop in the nation since the infamous 1987 Black Monday Wall Street crash. So it dropped a lot of points and went from about 40,000 down to like, I want to say 30,000. That's 10,000, almost like 10,000 points. Might have stopped around like 31,000, maybe 39 to 31. Still a large chunk. Taiwan Stock Exchange, TWII, went down 8.4% Monday, record one-day plunge in the country's market. Worst day in 57 years, reports Bloomberg. Both nations blamed poor outlooks on the U.S. economy and job losses. So far, Monday, U.S. stock market has reportedly lost $2 trillion. Microsoft was down 5%, Google down 5%, Meta down almost 7%. A lot of motherfuckers. Eli Lilly down 6%. Fucking Amazon almost 8%. NVDA, I think that's a computer company, almost down 12%. Apple was down 7%. Nike was down. MasterCard was down. Verizon was down. Fucking trying to see if I see any. Hallmark. Damn. Over 1.93 trillion has been wiped out from the U.S. stock market. So far today, as the NASDAQ has dropped 1,000 points. Damn. Officially says that the NASDAQ has never been this low, not even intraday. Let's check it out.
Some would call history in the making. Don't say that.
We have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. Down 6% right from the get-go. This is heavy big tech. Here we go. Look at them go down. Microsoft is down $20. That's 5%. Alphabet, 5%. Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%. Apple, 9%.
And they really closer to the next percentage.
This is interesting.
They're not counting the change. They're not counting the change. So it was like 5.98. You mean 5.73? You know what I'm saying? With a recession possible, some experts are calling for the Federal Reserve to issue an emergency rate cut of 0.75%. Besides the U.S. economy suffering under the corrupt and incompetent Biden regime, the threat of World War III, civil unrest, and fear of another 4 years of Democrat rule are also sending stock markets down a spiral. You mean? So we already know. You mean? Klaus Schwab. We have to prepare for an angrier world.
More unemployed, and particularly also people in the gray economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger, already now, but probably increase by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So
they
we have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare. It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world.
Nobody had nothing but them.
We provide everybody with decent.
Yeah, man, this is these motherfuckers is the ones suggesting fucking universal basic income. What the fuck do you think that's about? How you think you gonna get it? You gonna have to fall in fucking line. Klaus Schwab praises communist China, totalitarian control. We already know that, but y'all might need a refresher.
He's about to have an orgasm. See, number 2 and to the party. He has a bust of Lenin in his office. So he just told you we're collapsing everything. We're going to pose as the saviors. Now he's premierly communism, the power we have it. I mean, you're seeing a real Bond villain. That people like Dr. Evil are based on this. It's not like he's trying to look like a Bond villain. This is the actual group that Ian Fleming based him on.
Eyes.
This is what Klaus Schwab's dad and grandfather look like. They're making flamethrowers for Hitler. Go back to him.
Yo, Uncle Alex be wild.
Premier Lee is the ex-premier of the People's Republic of China and a member of the Chinese Communist Party Central Committee Politburo Standing Committee. Premier Lee has a distinguished career in public service, having led the economic and social development of 3 major provinces, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, and Shanghai. He has also been instrumental in opening up China's capital market, attracting foreign investment and innovation, and creating new urban areas to address land scarcity. Premier Lee took his office this March at China's National People's Congress at a critical moment when China adopted new COVID control measures and started to boost economic development, social dynamism, and international cooperation.
Like, this bull really want y'all heads on stakes and shit. Top globalists confess to plan to conquer and enslave the world. This is what's this old nigga name and shit? Fucking George Soros.
I was so impressed by him that I introduced him to my brother Nelson, who was...
I'm sorry, David Rockefeller.
Was then governor.
They look exactly alike. They terrible.
In New York, and was then considering seeking the presidency of the United States. They became great friends, and actually Henry became Nelson's foreign policy advisor as long as he was in public life, and I think is one of the remarkable international statesmen in the world today. Even 30 years after he was Secretary of State, he is still asked by heads of state when he travels the world for his advice.
Let me go back to the time you said when you came here, it transformed your life. Was there a course, a professor who really made that difference for you?
Yes, there was one course, one seminar of Henry Kissinger, which really opened my eyes. I wasn't accepted to the seminar, but I sat in. I think he let me in because I was German. And it was relatively shortly after the war. There were not too many Germans here. And this created a friendship which has endured until today. And, Henry has been several times in Davos. And I think it was mainly participating in his seminars that I developed my interest for geopolitical affairs.
So let's give you the real facts of history. We'll go to break. Klaus Schwab's father and grandfather were top Nazis. They come from royalty in Germany, and they owned the 3rd largest weapons manufacturer in World War II. And his father was at the Bilderberg Group meetings early on. And Henry Kissinger was in OSS with David Rockefeller, and they knew each other in World War II, in the OSS, and that's all on record.
I think it's because I attended his seminar, and at his seminar, he only let me because I was German, and I thought It was this German. Man, that shit is straight horse manure. Like, it's horse shit. So, I mean, you can purchase the bullshit if you want. You cannot purchase the bullshit if you choose. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back on the other side with even more of this shit. We about to get political, so strap the fuck in, because it's about to get deep. It's about to get deep. It's your boy. Folks say, P, why do you do the show? Why, like, what's the goal of the show? I say to pull people out the matrix. They say, well, what does that actually mean? And that's when I turn into Morpheus.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was. Look again. Who is it? This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one.
We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them. Someone. I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed. Why? I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Never really went nowhere and shit. We still here. So now for the political side of things and shit. Jamie Raskins lies America into a civil war. You already know they're trying to set it up so if Trump becomes the, the president and shit, that it's going to be a problem and shit. But you already know we're going to do it. My man, who this? John Brown? Yeah, my man John Brown. Lego. Bang. Yeah.
Smiley-faced demons out there like Michael Wolff, they're all going to point at our champion, who is in the center of the arena under massive attacks and whole balconies, whole cacophonies, whole lines of these carrion crows, these buzzards, these vultures, these rotten flesh eaters. Michael Wolff, known for yellow journalism. I mean, he's famous for festooning his news reports with outright fabrications.
Exactly.
Like you hang ornaments on a Christmas tree.
This is, I think not an exaggeration and not unreasonable.
It's an exaggeration. You should see how many times he blinked.
This is 25th Amendment kind of stuff.
People like him enjoy the climate of fake news media, corporate media, and the open season on the truth, open season on the president, open season on loyal, decent, hardworking, honorable folks. Open season because the trash knows it's being taken out.
Yep.
And so the trash is fighting for its political, cultural, and spiritual life.
Yep.
And its life is culturally ruling us.
Never before in American history had a president called for a crowd to come contest the counting of electoral votes by Congress or engaged in any effort designed to influence, delay, or obstruct the joint session of Congress in doing its work required by our Constitution and the Electoral Count Act.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified because they violated Florida's prohibition against dual office holding.
Debate is out of order. What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly.
That was Joe telling him he was out of order.
And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
They're telling you they're going to create Civil War conditions and not let him be seated as the president. Everything they accused him of, they're now doing, showing their total desperation. This guy's father was a famous communist in the Soviet Union. He is admitting their plan. This is treason, Nick, out in the open. What do you say to this?
It is treason. It's a totally reckless and dangerous thing to say. And if there's any hint of truth to this, this is like it's a grave national security concern. And I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that it could lead to a constitutional crisis.
Last night, I was most worried about the Supreme Court's prospective imminent abdication of its very clear duty to disqualify Donald Trump.
How come everything is very clear and, when it's on them, but it's never very clear.
Their decision says that it's really up to Congress on January 5th or January 6th, 2025, to disqualify him at the counting of the Electoral College votes, which really could lead to something akin to civil war, if that's what the suggestion is, which is what I think I heard.
Jamie Raskin
is what I think I heard.
Balls, and I'm sorry to be crass. He has the balls and the audacity to judge the Supreme Court as not having a very big workload. This is a congressman judging the Supreme Court. They don't hear that many cases. They don't have that much of a workload. So there's no reason why they didn't do their job. This is the most judgmental, disrespectful conduct to the Supreme Court justices imaginable. And when Trump goes out and criticizes a judge, it's insurrection through judicial insult. But when Jamie Raskin does it, when Jamie Raskin says it's going to be civil war conditions because we are not going to respect the outcome of the election, well, that's just fine because it's different, capital D, different Democrats. And remember, they said Donald Trump will never relinquish power if he ever gets reelected. He relinquished power the first time. They call him a Hitler-esque tyrant. He was banned from social media. They are accusing Trump of potentially doing, if he ever ascends to power, what they are predicting they are going to do right now. Donald Trump, if he ever gets back in power, he's going to persecute his political adversaries. He's going to put them in jail. That's literally what they are trying to do to him right now.
Folks, I mean, if y'all don't know, then y'all don't know, but y'all know if you listen to this show. Libs get brainwashed by the TV. Let's go.
Our suburban, rural.
This Caitlin Bennett. Remember I used to play her all the time back in the day?
And probably not that well educated.
You mean like those people over there?
Yep.
Okay. What made you come to the conclusion to kind of categorize people like that based on their political leanings?
I watch the news.
Do you honestly think that most of his supporters are racist or prejudiced?
This
Would
big
you be
fat
willing to go over and talk
white
to one
bitch,
right now and maybe see if we can bridge a
sloppy
divide
as shit.
and maybe talk?
She
Absolutely not. I haven't got
judgmental
time
about
for them.
everything but her
I
body.
don't have time for them.
You wouldn't be willing just to hear their side and maybe prove you wrong so you can have a different outlook on a majority of the country?
No.
Bro, this is the biggest, fattest, fucking obese piece of shit fucking libtard we ever seen on the show thus far. And it's funny how they always got so much to say about so much shit and how so many people are incorrect about so many things and that they know the proper way to fix things. Well, how come they don't never fix theyself? Like, why is they always sloppy and fat and look like they just got finished eating delicious things? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do they all look like they just came from Old Country Buffet, like, you know, they was just in there just shopping spree and shit for 8 hours straight. Just why is it always these big fucking bloated fucking Berthas and shit fucking always talking about, you mean skinny people? I think she mad at them because they skinny. How come all the Trump supporters look fit? And all the fucking lefty losers fat and bloated and shit. Like, real shit. This is a real picture. If you go watch this video, libs get brainwashed by the TV, by Liberty Hangout. And when you see this motherfucking cut, she mad at all these people that look like they got good jobs and they fit as hell. But yet she just fucking fat, sloppy, and fucking thirsty and hungry all at this fucking same time. Like, it's just...
Behind us, there are, I think they said, the silent majority. They're Trump supporters kind of doing a protest or something. And you just shouted something. Can you repeat what you're saying?
I told them to keep America racist. Of course, I don't believe that. But I think that's what they believe. So
I think that's
we
what
need
they
to call
believe.
them out on it every single time.
Absolutely. What makes you
So how can you call somebody out on something that you think that's what they believe?
think that just those people over there would support that?
Well,
so
they support
confused.
the president. The president's a racist.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of those logical,
You guys, where's the proof of him being a racist?
problems
So
that you do in
something
school.
that I see a lot of people, a lot of Trump supporters ask is, where is the proof that he is racist? Do you want to set that to bed and give us the proof?
I would say every other tweet would be proof right there. When he
What?
talks about African Americans, when he only calls out African American athletes, for whatever malfeasance he sees. I mean, God, what are all the others?
The recent attacks on the new congresswoman of color and his comments about the congressman from Baltimore. I mean, the list is endless.
That has been a big one, Baltimore. Can you go more into depth about how that is the R word?
I'm sorry?
How is that racist? There's a lot of people, I've seen so many people, that's not racist. Let's put it to bed. What makes his statements about Baltimore racist?
I can't put my...
Because he's saying it to a black congressman, and he's saying, the place you live in is, a rat hole or whatever it was he said. And here's the other thing. Yeah, if it's a rat hole, then he needs to talk to his son-in-law because his son-in-law owns the properties that are rat infested. And that's been in the news all over the place.
Okay. So do you think if Elijah wasn't a
This
person
fat
of color,
bitch
do you
is
think it would still
making
be
me mad,
prejudice or racist?
Yeah, I do. Because you know what? Those are urban areas. And when you're talking about urban areas, a lot of times you're talking about people of color. And let's face it, the urban people are not the ones supporting him. And I don't mean
Yes, we are.
black. I mean people who live in cities.
I live in
the
cities.
ones who support him are suburban, rural, and probably not that well educated.
That's not true.
You mean like those people over there?
Yep.
Okay.
So they not well educated, but they setting up camera crews and
based on their
shit.
political
Like.
leanings?
I watch the news and I read what Trump says, and when I see people like those folks saying make America great again, what they mean is we're really glad that there isn't a black man in the White House.
How do you put those two together?
Because America was damn great when Obama was in the White House. And here's the other thing too. actually, at one point, I remember when they were first running, Michelle Obama said something about "Let's make America great," and all the other right-wingers jumped all over it and said, "How in the world can she say America's not great?" But Trump comes out and says, "Make America great again." Oh, and that's fine? Why? Because the white guy said it? No.
So do you honestly think that most of his supporters are racist or prejudiced?
Yes,
okay.
I
Would
do.
you be willing to go over and talk to one right now and maybe see if we can bridge a divide and maybe talk?
Absolutely not. I haven't got time for them.
All right, so the Republicans do got this one fat motherfucker over there.
You wouldn't be willing just to hear their side and maybe prove you wrong so you can have a different outlook on a majority of the country?
No. I don't have time for the rhetoric. I don't know if you ever
understand what's really going on. I mean, Mueller testifies. Even the Attorney General and all of the president's appointees completely misconstrue the truth. They'll say anything they don't, without any support. It's ridiculous. I mean, no one cares. The president lies every single day.
What did he lie about today?
I'm not sure what he lied about today. But
what about yesterday?
He lied about something. Well, I just know that after the Mueller testimony, he came out and he again
said, I don't know, but he lied about something.
As a witch hunt and said that it showed, completely cleared him, that it was exonerated, there was no collusion, and that is just a complete misrepresentation of what the Mueller report said. The only reason he's not being indicted is because you cannot indict a sitting president.
Okay. Anything else you guys feel real strongly about?
Yeah, if he wasn't president, he'd be in jail.
Okay. What proof do you have for that?
Yeah, I tried that shit.
Well, the fact that the prosecutor came out and said he would have indicted him, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway.
You guys don't want to bridge the divide and bring some... Right here, would you be willing to talk and maybe bridge a divide between two political parties?
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is just a perfect example of the tolerant, the loving, the left here in the entire United States. So I offered her a chance to talk to someone that she is categorizing. She's never talked to these people behind me. She's never witnessed anything that they said. She's never even met them before or seen them before, but she didn't want to go talk to them to see if her predispositions about them are true. So she's going to walk away today still with that hate in her heart, still with this weird notion that everybody over here is racist or they hate black people or they just don't care about anybody in general. And that's really, really sad because I was under the assumption that the left were loving.
Yeah.
I was under the assumption that they were considerate and they were compassionate for all people. So that's really sad. That is a supporter of Elizabeth Warren. Let that sink in. Let that sink in today. There was a lady that walked by that said that you guys were the R word and that you were prejudiced and you hate minority people. And I offered her, I said, can we go over together and maybe have a conversation with one of them and maybe we can see if that's true or not. She said, no, I don't have time for that.
I would have totally 100% been down for that.
I personally
we love proving them
Mexican.
Well, how dare you? How dare you?
Well, I mean, I thought racists only applied to white people, right? What about me then? How am I a racist? Or does that make them racist for calling a Mexican a racist?
You don't have enough power to be racist.
Yeah, I don't have enough power.
That's the new definition. There's a lot of mental gymnastics that come along with being a liberal. So why do you think she didn't want to talk to you? She just completely wrote you off.
That's a lot of mental gymnastics. It really is, though. It's like the perfect
Why would she just completely write you off and not want to come talk?
Democrats are immune to facts.
Yeah, real shit.
And if
this shit got any type of factual
it's
basis,
easier just to go ahead and scream obscenities at somebody or take the moral high ground as you walk away and feel smug about yourself. But actually having to have a battle of wits or actual ideas and see which one
they lose every time.
That's just not in their game.
Yeah. The last time I checked, they preach that love trumps hate. They preach that they're tolerant, that they care about the kids in the cages while they support Planned Parenthood. They preach that they love every single person on this earth and in this country. They didn't love you, did they?
No. That whole scene is based on lies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Open-mindedness for sure, right?
Absolutely. Intolerance as well.
Yeah.
All right, so...
I think we called them all kinds of nasty stuff, didn't we?
No.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't say anything.
You said, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot.
Must be PTSD. Just so shaken.
I love it.
See, that's the difference between the people that's voting R and people that's voting D, bro. Like, are a lot more sensible and a lot more down to earth than the Ds. I mean, that's why I didn't belong over there. They was just outrageous and just crazy. Here goes some more outrageous shit. Let's check it out. Their most deranged idea yet with my man Mark Dice. Let's go.
Well, it's been just over 2 weeks now since old Joe ducked out of the 2024 presidential race.
Nigga look tired as shit.
Since he was forced out because of his obvious and growing incompetence rooted in his dementia. But now, Nasty Pelosi, one of the conspirators who made sure that he made the right decision, is saying that he was such an amazing president that he should be on Mount Rushmore.
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States.
That's because that bitch got paid.
He belongs up there.
She willing to pay for it.
Mount Rushmore. Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Yes, the man who embarrassed not just himself and the
but you got Teddy Roosevelt up there.
Nation in front of the world in the presidential debate about a month ago. Ending his political career should be added to Mount Rushmore. Maybe he should added like this in his usual pose with his back to the American people.
Exactly.
The meme makers this election cycle have been amazing. And so have the commenters, like this person who noted that the economy is so bad now that even Joe Biden's job is being outsourced to an Indian. Of course, there's no controversy about Kamala the chameleon and her mysterious shifting racial identity and how she only really started identifying black when she started running for president in 2020. Because it's a very important demographic for the Democrat Party to win over. And CNN made the mistake of sending a reporter to a black barbershop to ask some of the guys there about camel face.
Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Well, hold on, first, Ray, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I heard she was. I heard she's half black and half Asian.
Yo, they put her face on that joint. They photoshopped this bitch. Oh, shit.
Millennials and Zoomers may not be aware, but this is going back to the early 90s. This is a
they put Kamala face on all that business.
Michael Jackson's 1991 music video,
That's
Black or White, where even back then at the time, it was pretty sophisticated technology where everybody started morphing from one race into the next, And obviously, somebody used the face swapper and then face swapped Kamala.
Yo, they put her on the Chinese.
So she's trying really hard now to prove to everyone that she really is black. And her latest publicity stunt involved going to a black record store and then buying some black records. And the media has done an extraordinary job energizing and hyping up her new campaign and portraying her as if she were a superhero. And unlike her 2020 presidential campaign, where she had to hire her own staffers and her own speechwriters.
It's still a dude behind her and shit that got her back.
And the liberal media industrial complex.
How you Captain America, bitch, but you
when
need
she's
backup.
not reading a teleprompter of a carefully crafted script and instead is in front of a camera and has to answer questions off the top of her head, it becomes clear that the Empress has no clothes. Here's her first public appearance as an official presidential candidate of 2024 without her trusted teleprompter.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances.
Yo, even Joe Biden, like, what?
You know what? This time, Joe Biden for being confused. Nobody understood that word salad.
Yo, Joe, like, huh?
Which is literally just remote storage of
your
files.
Joe really was like, what the fuck?
Someone else's computer at a server farm somewhere instead of your own local hard drive.
I'm telling you,
so you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house.
She think the cloud is really in the sky.
It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us.
that exist above.
But
It's a server.
Hard time explaining what cloud storage
A cloud is
wait
a
till you get
server.
a load of her trying
You
to
stupid
explain
bitch.
the inflation problem.
What else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up.
Duh.
And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means.
What do you
That's
mean?
about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. Very seriously.
What are
And we
you
know
going to
from
do
the
about
history
it?
of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country.
What are you going to do about it?
Down to our fiat banking system and Richard Nixon.
The
being
question
forced
was,
by the
what are
banking
you going to
cartel
do about it?
Take the dollar off the gold standard, which now means that the Federal Reserve can figuratively print or literally just create as much money as they want to out of nothing, thus drastically increasing the rate of inflation. As former Federal Reserve Banking Cartel Chairman Alan Greenspan once surprisingly openly admitted, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
What is the proper relationship? What should be the proper relationship between a chairman of the Fed and a president of the United States?
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. What the relationships are don't frankly matter.
But surely he wouldn't let the cat out of the bag. The plan is to eventually have the United States pay off all foreign obligations by having the Federal Reserve print an unlimited amount of money, which would thus cause hyperinflation. What do you...
Oh, wait, what's this?
The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. But there is zero probability of default.
His fellow panelists can't even believe that
He like, nigga, did you really just say that
didn't
shit?
reveal the consequence of those actions, which is hyperinflation
He
and
like,
then
nigga.
evaluation of the dollar and a total
Did you really
collapse
just tell them people
the
that?
middle class. And speaking of money, if you go to Kamala Harris's new website, KamalaHarris.com, that's the first thing that they're asking
Donate
for.
$5,000.
And if you close that
It's
window
sad.
and then scroll around the website, trying to find what exactly are her policies.
There is none. It's just one
Harris
giant
agenda?
donation button.
You can't find it because they don't have any policies or campaign promises.
It's just
listed.
donate
if you go
money.
To DonaldJTrump.com, however, you can see right
Shit,
up at
I'm
the
about
top
to
is the
create a
platform
mirror
section where they
website.
list Agenda 47,
I'm broke as
the
hell.
Republican Party platform for President Trump's 20 core programs to make America great again. The first of which, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Number 3, end inflation and make America affordable again. Number 4, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Number 5, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Number 6, large tax cuts for workers and no taxes on tips. And it just goes on
Ain't
and on.
this
A
Donald Trump
fantastic,
shit?
simple yet detailed plan of how to make America great again. These
Keep
are
men
some
out of women's
fantastic
sports.
ideas. Keep
Yeah.
the dollar as the world's reserve currency. Fight to protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts.
Keep men
Cut
out of women's
federal funding
sports.
for any school. Pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. Number 17, keep men out of women's sports.
That's the one.
Now this is the plan. And this is the man. And this is the fight for Trump shirt.
You already know if you got it for Mark Dice, man, send your boy 99 cents. But Savage, Trump plays compilation of Kamala's been cackling incoherent word salads during a rally. But in other news and shit, Trump plane makes an emergency landing in Montana a couple days ago after mechanical issues. Is it funny that motherfucking Alex Jones kind of called that, you know what I'm saying? Said they was going to go after his plane and shit. You mean it has reliable sources. And there's also a video that just surfaced of Joe Biden saying there will not be a peaceful transfer of power if Trump wins the election. Basically alluding back to what Raskin said and shit. I mean, we have so much news come at you so quickly on this show. It's just ridiculous. Former President Donald Trump highlights Kamala Harris' incoherence.
Kamala is grossly incompetent and, in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out about her IQ during the debate. Okay, let's find out about her IQ. So, we have this great system. I want to show you just one other thing, please. Do you mind putting it up, please? Thank you.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us.
The bitch looked up.
The Caribbean nations.
The bitch looked up. She said it's in the cloud. Look the fuck up. Oh my God.
That is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Okay.
Space is exciting.
It is
time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down. We will work together.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work. Do you ban plastic straws?
Work together as we continue to work.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend, and then the little thing catches it, and then so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more. Do you know? Okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that
she took a dive on climate change?
The women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022. So the United States
for real
shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy thing.
The Republic of North Korea. We are aligned with South Korea.
As a woman, there's a balance to be struck between being tough and being
and being a bitch. Okay, you should be talking to Hitler.
Turn that off.
She should be talking to Hitler. He also played a compilation of her detailing her radical left agenda.
So don't take my word for it. Listen, Kamala Harris's agenda is straight from her own mouth. Would anybody like to see her? Let's do it for a couple of seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously. As President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
Green New Deal.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Banning fracking.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance.
Let's eliminate all of that.
Socialist healthcare.
Support changing the dietary guidelines. The food pyramid. What people yes, reduce red meat specifically. Yes, I would.
She want to reduce meat consumption.
If your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Healthcare for illegals.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
This whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets.
Defund the police. Remember the bail fund?
Perceived as the modern-day Ku Klux Klan.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a
that
perception?
puts ICE in the same category as the KKK? Is that what you're asking me? I see no.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
ICE is equivalent to the KKK.
What we are doing.
Bro.
And that's just a small part of it. So if you listen to Kamala's speeches, you'd never even know that she's been running the country. She's been running the country for 4 years.
I mean, bro, we could have watched that whole shit, but we got so much more news to go. Michaela Montgomery accuses Kamala Harris of harming the black community, and I completely agree with her. So we're going to give her a run. And she funny as shit, though. I don't even know where this bitch from. I just found it on Forbes, on the Forbes YouTube channel. I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good. She was at a Trump rally and grinding motherfucking Kamala up. I was like, I like this chick. I like her.
School bus driver.
Hey, girl. What's happening?
I'm so happy you all came out to see me. So, my name is Michaela Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that.
Okay, girl from Chick-fil-A.
Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name.
Okay, you got it. Now let's see what you got.
Now, why don't we jump right into it? See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. I can tell you that as a young black voter, groceries are too damn high. And as an American citizen, period, seniors like my parents should never have to choose between medicine or food. It should never be the quality of life versus the quantity of life.
Facts.
And I don't want to
At least not here in America.
Cap the price of insulin and lower the price of all these medicines. Yeah, but you raise the price of everything else, so it's about time to start telling the truth to Americans and let them know exactly what they're signing up for.
I like her. She's spicy.
We need to vote based on facts and not feelings. See, under Harris and Biden, the average Georgia household is losing $1,060 per month, and inflation is at 21.4%. And due to the war on energy, average gas prices have reached record highs for the state. We also did a poll, and 80% of us black Americans are not happy with the current state of the economy, so I'm going to need 80% of y'all to vote accordingly in November.
Facts. Facts.
They love me. They love me. They really love me. The left wants you to get in your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her.
I'm pretty sure she ain't.
A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman.
Facts.
She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their community. And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing literally everywhere else in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs. And a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job.
Crazy.
Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth.
Not on welfare.
If they come here illegally and they're taking your jobs and your resources, then please believe my cousins in the Appalachians, they coming for you too. And y'all know Kamala Harris has yet to say Laken Riley's name. As borders are, she opened the border to millions of illegal immigrants that have flooded American streets with deadly drugs and gangs that have spiked overdoses by over 124% and brought more crime into minority communities. So how's that for black folks? But let's take race out of it. Just as a woman, period. How can you be a champion for women's rights when you're taking away opportunities from biological women and giving them to transgendered ones?
Exactly. Get them, girl.
I'll wait, y'all, because I wasn't done. See, how can you promote equity for women and you're allowing men to play in women's sports? And what kind of feminist would still allow men to enter their sacred spaces, i.e. our bathrooms and school locker rooms? Do I even need to mention the opening ceremony at the Olympics?
Yes.
Or the fact that Angela Carini was forced to fight a man and told us that she's never been punched so hard in her life. We cannot allow dangerous liberals who think things like this are okay into the White House, because my daughter will not be fighting a man at her wrestling match. And what I think both men and women can agree on is that national security is important. So who would y'all rather see lead us into war if it were so to happen? My silk-pressed sister Kamala or the big dog Donald Trump?
Big dog. Big dog.
And lastly, I cannot get up here without mentioning my farmers, the backbone of this country. And aside from the Biden-Harris administration hurting you guys in ways we can't even comprehend by the rising cost of everything, black farmers suffered even more due to the delays associated with the Inflation Reduction Act signed in 2022. Now, don't let the Biden-Harris administration fool you, because they waited until the 9th hour to sign off on disbursement as a last-minute attempt to garner support. But why would they hurt the agricultural industry?
Because by design.
Because they're looking forward to making more money in the pharmaceutical one.
Ooh.
And speaking of pharmaceuticals, because I promise I'm going to wrap this up, when they bring up abortion and they talk about protecting your medical freedoms, don't be afraid to mention COVID. The Biden-Harris administration forced Americans to take an experimental vaccine and took away their jobs, their livelihoods, and their freedoms.
Yes, Lord.
They refused. Trump gave us a choice and Biden gave us a mandate.
Fact. Where's the lie? I like her.
Hey, y'all, because I'm about to kill him with this one.
I like that.
So the next time the left wants to tell you that, hey, abortion is a right and you need to protect your medical freedoms, remember that they took those freedoms away from men and women the second they got in office, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it again.
Yes, Lord. Let's go. Let's go.
Clock it. So lastly, again, I'm going to encourage you all to vote based on the facts and not feelings. Oh, he made me feel so bad when he said that. Okay, but they hurt your families when they sent all your tax dollars overseas.
Right.
Oh, it hurts my feelings when he acts like that. Okay, but it hurts all of us when you see an administration failing their country that they were elected to represent.
Yes,
in
yes.
which case, I'm going to leave y'all with, hey, mama, daddy, I made it.
You already know, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate that. Good shit. We got about 20 minutes left, so we got just enough time to knock out what we need to knock out. VP Tim Walz, that's Kamala's been cackling VP pick. Calls for a ban to free speech. Don't believe me?
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
We don't live in a democracy. The United States of America is a republic to which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But I know.
A treasure trove of disaster. Not just wanting to chop little kids' penises off and little girls' breasts off, not just supporting defunding police and Black Lives Matter burning down half of Minnesota. His wife saying she loved the smell of burning tires, open the windows up.
That's
We've got
what
him
she said.
attacking free speech. We've got him endorsing socialism. I mean, this guy is a train wreck. The article's on Infowars.com with a full interview. Tim Walz, no right to free speech if government deems misinformation or hate speech. So if they define it, just like the EU, you don't have it, here's the club.
On this, there's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Here's a couple
It's
clips.
a republic.
Here's the first clip that Elon's saying she's a communist. And this is classic communism is what she's saying. And then here's Walz saying, hey, socialism is just being a good neighbor. Here it is.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable distribution.
Wow.
Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. So there's a big difference between equality and equity.
Where's my equity?
Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place. As opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more.
I need more, bitch.
So we all end up in the same place.
I need more.
Right? We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles.
I'm here in America, bitch.
Proud of
I need the money.
We understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base.
Oh, so you just
We
running
see
that, huh?
that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal. So when we talk about the work we are doing here together, it is recognizing that and being guided by this principle of what we must do in the spirit and in the interest of equity.
This bitch is freestyling.
To put equity firmly at the center of our economic policy. But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homes.
No, well, I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
You remember 2020?
Could you be mine?
Classic communist takeover. Cut off the resources and then tell people you're going to give them free stuff. They just burn everything down. If you're a communist.
I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you.
Socialism's just being a good neighbor.
Make the most of this beautiful
All they
day.
took was TVs.
Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine?
Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
They're getting ready.
I used to watch that when I was a kid.
2020 was just a beta test.
Mr. Rogers'
Won't you
neighborhood.
be my neighbor?
And that's why they put Tim Walz in.
Mm-hmm. Because he allowed his motherfucking cities and state to be cooked to a motherfucking crisp. 2009 video shows veteran confronting Tim Walz staff over stolen valor allegations. This nigga was running around talking about he served time. He did time in motherfucking Afghanistan. Nigga never did no motherfucking time in Afghanistan, but he running around telling motherfuckers he did.
My name is Dave Thill. This is Travis Quinlan. We're both constituents and Iraq War vets. We're hoping to talk to someone about a photograph I have of Congressman Walz.
Okay.
Not sure if you have ever seen this picture before. Okay. Well, in it depicts 2004 he didn't Afghanistan veteran.
Right.
Congressman Walz is not an Afghanistan war veteran, is he?
He served in Italy and part of.
He served in Italy.
Okay, but he didn't serve in Afghanistan, did he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Hi, Rick. I'm Dave Thill. How you doing? Nice to meet you. There's a young lady in the other office that was helping us, but if you can. You guys want to come in and have a seat? Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a seat. I am Dave Thill. This is Travis Quinlan. We're both constituents and we're both Iraq war vets. We served together with the Minnesota National Guard. So we're here on a veteran-related issue. I don't know if you are familiar with this picture at all. This was taken in 2004 here in Mankato, and it's actually been posted on the internet for quite some time, and nobody quite realized what it is. But in this picture, Congressman Walz here is holding a sign that says "Enduring Freedom Veterans for Care." So tell me what your understanding of his military background is.
Yeah, I understand that he was called up in support of it. Obviously, in support of that operation. That's how I've always understood it. And so the time that he, when he got called up, I guess I've always referred to it as, he was called up and served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Okay, so is there any question in your mind what Enduring Freedom is?
No.
Okay, so I guess most people, and yourself included, would associate Enduring Freedom with Afghanistan, right?
Right, but okay. I mean, I think it, as I also understand that it encompasses a great deal.
Well, Operation Enduring Freedom is limited to Afghanistan and the airspace directly above. There's other units that are called up in support of, and I'm sure that's probably what his military orders said.
Right.
My concern, other than this picture, is that the congressman's website, his official biography, says simply that he was mobilized with his battalion in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, without any other details. Don't you think it's reasonable? People might assume that means he served in Afghanistan.
Perhaps, I guess.
Okay, so it's been 5 years now, or I guess almost 5 years, that the congressman's official biography has said he served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Isn't it reasonable, if it causes confusion, or it may cause confusion, that somebody may have thought to change that and explain that he served in Italy and not in Afghanistan?
I mean, what would you suggest it be changed to, I guess?
Simply to add the words "in Italy." Served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom in Italy. Simple as that, because then it specifies that he served in Italy. Now, don't get me wrong, I certainly appreciate the Congressman's service. 24 years in the National Guard, we're both National Guardsmen ourselves. We appreciate his service, and we appreciate his being deployed. But there's a huge difference between being deployed to a base in Italy and being in the combat zone in Afghanistan. Okay? Are you aware of any of the media reports from 2006 that inaccurately cited the Congressman as a war veteran?
Specifically, I can't think of any right now, but I don't. I would imagine that I know people have approached me as a staffer and thought that, and so I've corrected them. If you serve in support of an operation, you're not necessarily a veteran of that operation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So your question is more about this picture than his biography.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The biography is one of them. That's That's bad. That's misleading. That's a little bad. This right here, under current U.S. law, this could get the congressman probably thrown in jail in violation of the 2006 Stolen Valor Act, which says it is a crime, a federal crime, to portray yourself in writing or verbally as having received an award or decoration authorized by Congress that you didn't receive.
Yep.
Congressman Walz is clearly claiming in this sign, in this picture with this sign, to be an Enduring Freedom veteran. He is clearly, nobody disputes the fact that he is not an Afghanistan or Enduring Freedom veteran. So this represents a fairly serious issue. So can I leave you my name and number, and can I trust that someone will get back to me on this issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me grab that.
So this nigga's supposed to be going to jail for being a fraud and shit. So y'all vice president pick is a fraud. And he wants people to believe that he served in certain places of the world that he never served in. That should be a problem for you and shit. Now we're going to discuss the truths about the riots in England, you know what I'm saying, and how all that immigration is coming back to bite them in the fucking ass, and all them niggas that came across the border, this shit is civil war conditions over there and shit. Y'all ain't want to listen to me? Take it from Paul Joseph.
Well, baby Watson chose a nice quiet week to be born, didn't he? After a 17-year-old of Rwandan migrant heritage. A Welshman born in Cardiff launched a savage knife attack that left 3 girls dead in Southport. Absolute unbridled chaos unfolded across England.
That's going to go in a minute, mate. All these cows are gone. Every one of these.
In towns and cities across the nation, angry anti-mass migration demonstrators fought running battles with police, set fire to buildings and engaged in violent confrontations with left-wing and Muslim counter-demonstrators.
Oh shit, man, they're in. They're in. Oh, wow.
In Stoke, mobs of diverse chaps rampaged through the streets looking for revenge. Similar scenes in Bolton where armed gangs chanted Allah Akbar before targeting lone individuals. Others physically attacked lone white people in Middlesbrough. In Leeds, people wearing Union Jacks were set upon. But strangely, the media barely included any of this in their reporting. And in some cases, the reporters deleted the videos entirely. Sky News condemned an attack on a taxi, while conveniently failing to mention the tooled-up mob right behind them carrying machetes and blunt weapons.
And look very pleased about it whilst they did it. Then there was this, as I say, clash between protesters and the police, and that is when they then ran off across the park here. A big group ran off looking for trouble.
A big group ran off.
So we're just going to step away now from this group behind us. But,
okay.
This video is sponsored by InVideo AI. With InVideo AI, you can turn any content or idea into a publish-ready video instantly. Let me quickly walk you through how to use the program. Just start with a simple text prompt and it creates the first rough draft for you. My code. To get twice the number of video AI is the world's most used AI video creator. With over 10 million users across 104 riots was also on full display. Police telling Muslim counter-protesters to politely leave their weapons at the mosque while offering reassuring words that they were there to protect them.
We understand. Yeah, that's fine. I just need you to understand we're not against you guys. We're here to help and protect you. We all understand.
When asked about two-tier policing, police chiefs weren't too keen on discussing it.
Are we going to end two-tier policing, sir?
And I just want to show you that again. That question from that reporter about two-tier policing. You'll see the Met Police Commissioner grabs the grey implement. That's the microphone. Here it is.
And amidst all the chaos, we're forced to endure the same political class and media that tacitly endorsed and lionised the 2020 BLM riots, denounced the 2024 anti-mass migration riots as nothing more than far-right extremism.
This is not protest. It is organised, violent,
thuggery.
The same Prime Minister who literally took a knee in response to BLM riots, along with numerous Metropolitan Police officers in London who did the same, now inform us that somehow this is totally different.
Be in no doubt,
I was shocked.
Those that have participated in this violence,
the killing of George Floyd,
will face the full
and the
force
response
of the law.
President Trump.
The police
the US
will be
authorities
making arrests.
To the peaceful
individuals
protests,
will be
to
held
people
on
rightly
remand.
demanding justice.
Charges will follow.
There's been an affront to
and
charges will follow.
Last week has shone a spotlight.
I guarantee
on the racism
you will regret taking part in this disorder,
and injustice,
whether directly
experienced
or those
by those
whipping
from
up this
black and
action
minority ethnic
online,
communities
and then
in the
running
US,
away themselves.
in the UK,
This is
and
not
across
protest.
the world.
It is
Martin
organised,
Luther King
violent thuggery.
Injustice
organised, violent
In 2020, violent attacks against police officers were part of largely peaceful anti-racism protests. But in 2024, violent attacks against police officers are nothing less than serious violence. The George Floyd riots were a brave fight against injustice. Meanwhile, same woman.
Let's be very clear. This has not been about protest.
This is violent
this has been about violence and thuggery.
In 2011, the UK was besieged by similar riots that were started as a result of police killing a black criminal. The media's response then? Well, once again,
violent
was somewhat different. They challenged the depiction of the rioters as mindless criminals, compared the rioters to South African freedom fighters, and said nice kids were being put behind bars. In 2011, the looting of shoe shops was characterised as part of a new global revolution caused by a corrupt global elite inequality in the 2008 financial crisis. In 2024, those exact same people characterised it as criminal opportunism. A riot is the voice of the unheard. Unless white working class people do it, then it's far-right extremism. When the native white working classes start rioting, the lack of community centres and ping-pong tables are all of a sudden not the reason why. Is decades of mass migration to blame? No, all white working class are far-right thugs. The scenes in Rotherham today are among the most wicked Britain has ever witnessed. Really? Matthew must have missed the 1,400 children being groomed in Rotherham over the course of more than a decade. And while fires being set and the windows of migrant centres being smashed may indeed be shocking, some might argue that dozens of kids being maimed and killed by a suicide bomber at the Manchester Arena is a little more wicked than a riot outside a hotel. Some would argue there's wicked and then there's really wicked. Good grief, just imagine if this was by a minority community. Yeah, we don't need to imagine it literally happened 2 weeks beforehand in Hare Hills, Leeds. Instead of attempting to interrogate exactly why the riots started, Keir Starmer decided to pour a huge vat of kerosene all over them. In direct contrast to how they described BLM rioters, mostly peaceful, Starmer demonised every single protester as a right-wing extremist. And anyone who attempted to challenge this narrative was swiftly censored.
What I'm saying is, you have to be very careful now with tempers the way they are, and people's sense of angst of what had gone on in the preceding couple of days, where you'd had an army officer stabbed in the back.
Damn.
The misleading representation in the northwest where this occurred.
That's a different case there, Kevin. So,
nigga.
You're missing the point.
Let's talk about all the shit.
People conflate this. And they make
and
two
I think
and two, and they make five.
Worsening that conflation by mentioning the two cases together here. So we'll leave it there. Thank you, Kevin Hurley, who's the former detective chief superintendent.
And the UK's most senior police commissioner issued a statement calling on the government to acknowledge the real cause of the riots, the devastating consequences of mass uncontrolled immigration. His words were swiftly condemned and deleted from the internet. Seems like one of the only mainstream outlets that has been a source of reasoned inquiry into the actual origins of the riots has been GB News.
The way to stop this is start to actually ask the question, why? Why are these riots happening? We should obviously condemn them. We should condemn people attacking police officers, setting things on fire. But we need to ask the question is, what has happened to this country that a large group of people feel silenced? They cannot speak. They cannot speak about the problems of mass immigration. And when you do, you're labelled, even people on the right or left, you're common sense people who want to have these discussions, you're labelled as a far-right person. Now we're actually seeing the real far-right in this country rising. And the reason for that is they've been silenced for a long time. We ignore the fact that 80% of this country is actually white. We are constantly not prepared to ask deeper level questions. When BLM riots happened in 2020, the media coverage, the social media coverage was all asking the question, why? Why do black people feel the way they feel in this country, in America? But no one seems to be prepared to ask these questions towards these group of people. Instead, they want to put them all in a box of crazy, white, EDL, far-right people, rather than actually sitting there saying, what has happened to this country? Will Sir Keir Starmer actually wake up and actually do something to this, or will we turn into France where this is just going to keep on happening on a regular basis? So I think to stop these riots, we need to have a much more serious conversation about how to stop crime in this country, how to stop certain ethnic groups getting an advantage in terms of not being prosecuted by the police. We saw it in Rotherham with those young girls who were getting exploited. We need to have some serious questions about this. Until then, I don't think the riots will stop.
And now they're calling for that whole network to be shut down. Labour's Rachel Reeves said in 2016 mass uncontrolled immigration would cause riots. And now it has. But suddenly we're not allowed to identify the origin of the unrest. Now the authoritarian response that was somehow beyond reach for dealing with violent crime, mass illegal immigration and grooming gangs has swung into action virtually overnight to deal with the unruly protesters.
I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder.
I guarantee.
Whether directly or those whipping up this action online.
24-hour courts, home raids.
Please open the door!
No.
Get the door through the glass.
Mass online censorship, the introduction of Islamophobia blasphemy laws, a return to COVID-style curfews and lockdowns.
In COVID, they were prepared to back measures that were needed in that situation. I think they would take a similar approach to keeping rioters off the streets now.
Which, of course, weren't applied when BLM rioted, and after Labour announced a plan to release criminals onto the streets because of a capacity crisis in prisons, suddenly there's plenty of capacity to imprison the rioters.
There are prison places available as well. There are already people who are in custody right now as we speak, and we should be clear, there will be people who are thinking they're going on their summer holiday this week, and instead they're going to be facing a knock on the door and a police cell as a result of what they have done.
While it may be fair to characterise the rioting as extremist in nature, how would one characterise a sustained government policy over the course of decades, which no one wanted, no one ever voted for, namely the accelerated importation at great cost to the public, both financially and in terms of their safety, of millions of people who despise us? A government policy that has turned large areas of towns and cities into unrecognisable crime-ridden hellholes. Is that not extremist in nature too?
Absolutely. It's absolutely extreme and shit. And for our last report of the evening is piggybacking off the last report, we actually have somebody that's defending the fact that the cops are only arresting the people that's defending their land and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Like, she gets so frustrated she can't even go through with the shit. And this is going to take us home. Let's go. You idiot. Get him off. Alex Phillips. Furious clash after allegations of condoning riots. Let's go.
The reason I say I think the government are frankly dangerous is because we have a situation that is clearly mushrooming out of control. It's not being quelled. And when Sir Keir Starmer turned around first time and said, far-right thugs, a load of people online, to me, demonstrably looked like quite ordinary people, started posting their photos and doing hashtag, I'm a far-right thug and so on and so forth. And as Tim and I were discussing earlier, when you talk about far-right as a political concept, they're normally people with matching shirts and a manifesto. When this started as people with ordinary concerns. Now, after the backlash against using that language, he then went on to do the same again. And to me, and I want your opinion on this, to me in doing so, what he did was further anger and alienate people who are using, a crisis in this country as an excuse to carry out the most awful violence and thuggery and behaviour that defiles our flag, frankly. These people need to be locked up. They're monstrous. But it also, I think, has excused really appalling behaviour on the other side, who now seem to be justified in righteous indignation. We're talking about Muslim communities, young men from those communities who feel disaffected, who are picking up in some instances weapons and forming mobs. So actually, far from making the situation go away and calming it down, I would suggest that he's thrown an accelerant onto the fire.
There
Do you
you
think
have
he's
it.
handling this well?
I think he's handling it fine. I'm very, very, very confused by the concern in some quarters of the media, including yourself, about the terminology far right. Why do you have an issue with that being applied?
Well, okay, fine. Okay, let's do this, actually. Let's do this. Tell me what is far right, and especially related to what is going on here. Explain far right. Give me the definition, please.
It's quite self-explanatory, but it's far to the right of the political axis.
No, you say it's self-explanatory. That's tautological. That's like saying two twins. What is it? Explain it, list it, identify it, give it a shape, give it a texture so we all understand what you mean when you're using those words.
So it's a political ideology, obviously, and it's people whose political ideology, and like the far left, there'll be many different elements of it. There's many different kind of variants of far left. There's people who will agree with each other and disagree with each other on the far right.
Do you think these people kicking in windows and acting like hooligans have a political ideology?
Some of them, of course they do. The
Hooligans.
EDL is a political organisation.
Some of them, Alex, you do see them making Hitler Nazi salutes. Some of them actually have swastikas tattooed onto their bodies.
I get that.
Yeah.
But when people were saying online, does this now make me far right as well?
Yes, it does, but Alex.
No.
The problem
when ordinary men and women were putting their pictures up on Twitter, who frankly just looked like, Bob and Jane next door, and people who served in the army and former police officers, and people of all colours and creeds saying, I am now a far right side. Were they?
We need to address a bigger problem here, okay? And it makes people uncomfortable, and I'm sorry about that. But when people say, am I far right? Am I racist because I hold these views? Then if you do hold those views, then yes, you are.
Okay, so where do we define this? Because when this began, right, there's definitely a hardened, vile core of people going out right now, mobile around the country, trashing our country, defiling our flag. That I agree with. But this started, actually, with a huge caucus of people concerned about uncontrolled immigration.
No,
is that so far right?
It didn't start with that, Alex. It didn't start with that. It started with lies and misinformation from people who seek division. Andrew Tate... This has got nothing to do with Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate did not suddenly get a lot of ordinary Brits upset about what is changing in their communities.
Because people... Yes, he did, because people follow him online. He's the most searched man on the internet.
I worry
These
that
young
people
men
like
who follow
you. I worry that people like you have swallowed your own narrative to the extent that for some reason you cannot see the wood from the trees. You have spent so long gaslighting us that problems we see happening in our society don't exist and that they are our fault, and you're doing it again. You are repeating that language and that narrative. When are you going to go into listening mode and understand actually that discontent comes from something? It comes from, be it material need, it comes from a lack of integration and social concerns. When are you going to understand that? And instead of just
it sounds to me like you're making... It sounds to me like you're making apologies for racism and fascism.
Of course I'm not. You idiot. Listen, I have told you there is vile things happening. That
Why are you bothered about...
Get him off. I don't want to listen. I do not want to speak to a man, frankly, who seems to have a pathological problem with the truth. Idiot. This is why we're not solving the problem, Tim, because you can't talk to them. You cannot explain to them that there are people in this country who are really upset with the way society is, without him turning around and saying that somehow I am condoning or inciting the violence happening, which I'm absolutely not doing.
Well, according to him, that's what you're doing and shit, because that's how lefty losers roll. And I want to say, man, I appreciate y'all so much, man. I really do. I appreciate y'all coming through, hanging with your boy, you know what I'm saying, being willing to listen to the show, being able to take in all the information and shit. You know what I mean? I think it's really, really dope that y'all continue to come back and you trust us with your information and shit. We really appreciate that. Man, I'm about to wrap this joint up so I can get me a couple of Z's and shit. And I ain't talking about roll-ups, but I am about to roll up. You already know. Keep your head on the swivel. Pray. Ask God to help you be a better person tomorrow than you was today. You know, keep doing your thing. Keep letting it hang and swing. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Dog, I fucking love y'all. And you already know. It's your boy, Mr. P. I bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up America News, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. I done said that over 800 times. Soon it'll be over 1,000. And thank you, because of y'all that I'm still here. You know what I mean? The mission was from God, but it's y'all that keep me here. You already know. So keep your head up, keep doing your thing, keep letting it hang and swing. Don't forget to pray for your neighbor and shit. Yeah, man. Really ain't that much to cover and shit. So I'ma holler at you. It's your boy. Yo, it's your boy, Mr. P. I want to tell y'all, man, we got the podcast player over there at CivilianTalkPodcast.com now, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is hit the check out the podcast button. There's a nice big old player over there, you know what I'm saying? You can check out as many episodes as you want, and we going to be over there waiting for y'all, you know what I'm saying? We done streamlined it, so you don't have to go to your favorite podcast outlet no more. You don't have to sign in to Spotify or iHeartRadio or iTunes. You can just go over to CivilianTalkPodcast.com, and if it's not another link, you can just press the episode you want and press play, and you already know. It's your boy.